You are the best wife.
Prologue 28th November 2012 Fortis Hospital, Noida. Those memories still send a sharp, stinging pain through me. I walked to the Fortis Internal Medicine ICU. My heart was racing and I was flooded with emotions. After a few minutes, I was standing outside the ICU door. Bhavna was behind a green curtain. Listen, you have to be brave and calm. I want to inform you that Bhavna's condition is deteriorating further and we are planning to put her on a ventilator. The doctor said in a concerned tone and handed me a document to sign. I felt numbed. As these icy words pierced me, it felt as if my blood was freezing. What are the chances of recovery? I asked bluntly. Rare chance. Once she is doing well, we can remove her from that. But her condition is getting worse. The ventilator is not the problem, the infection is. So, is she not on ventilator yet? I asked. Can I see her? That is what I called you for. This ventilator will only be removed once she starts recovering or there are signs of improvement. She will be administered anesthesia, which will make her unconscious so that the ventilator doesn't cause any damage. What if there is no signs of improvement? I asked. Then I'm sorry, he signed. It is possible you will be talking to her for the last time. I went behind the green curtain. I thought I would hug her, but that would make her feel that something was wrong and she might break down completely. With a heavy heart and this dilemma in mind, I went to her. There was blood around her lips. She lay with her mouth open and her eyes closed. It was the most horrifying moment of my life. Watching her struggle to breathe made me insane. I wished I could have given her my breath and a part of my life, but I was helpless. I had never felt so disabled in my life. With great difficulty, I said, I love you, Bhavna, and you are the best wife. She collected her strength and whispered something with ragged breaths. My life changed from that day onwards. What my life was before and what it became after is something that forced me to write this book. I wish I could rewind time and go back and relive all the beautiful moments that we had cherished together. Ragging is a criminal offense. There are three kinds of students: one who are sure that what they want and achieve it, ones who know what they want but never achieve it, and finally, the kind that I am, those who don't know what they want. After completing my schooling from Rehan Nagar, Sonbhadra, UP, I was like all others who took the age old path of engineering. There are no decision making involved in the choice. Those who took maths would appear for the engineering exams, so I too joined the rat race. I joined a coaching class for the IIT entrance exam. I wasted 2 years in the hope of gaining admission into an IIT. Being a Brahmin by birth, I had always prayed to God at the top of my voice, considering him deaf. This time, the prayers were centered on just one thing: God, please let it be IIT. Please let it be IIT. Sadly, IIT and IERT sounded alike to God, and in this confusion, He gifted me IERT. It seemed as though God was using BSNL operator services, which go down during the rainy seasons, and with the sound of thunder around him, God heard IERT instead of IIT. And so I landed up at IERT and finally realized that it was what I wanted. Nevertheless, I was not disheartened and accepted the same with love and respect. I was full of respect because when all the colleges had shut their doors, only IERT had accepted me. August 2003, IERT, Institute of Engineering and Rural Technology, Allahabad. I joined the IERT hostel on the second day of college, and my father and I both received a warm welcome from the hostel warden at the reception. Welcome to the one of the finest engineering colleges in the country, he said with a sense of pride and achievement. I looked at my father. His chest had swelled with pride at the warden's warm welcome. My father and Sachin Tendulkar suffered from a similar disease, the nervous 90s. But in my father's case, it was his weight that was always swinging between 90 and 99 kilos. He certainly scored a century then as he watched his son entering the Rural Technology Institute. I was the first in the Pandey family to study engineering. My father and I had another reason to be happy. Finally, I got admission in a college, which would mean an end to money grubbing by coaching institutes. Sir, is ragging a big problem for freshers? My father asked the warden, concerned. Pandeji, you don't have to worry as the Supreme Court has declared ragging is a criminal offense. The manner in which he had said this seemed to indicate that he was personally in touch with Supreme Court judge who gave the verdict. Are the seniors staying in the same campus? Papa asked in the same concerned tone. Yes, but their building is a different one. And the warden answered. After some time, when Papa had settled me into my hostel room, I sensed one of his Gyan sessions was about to start. Sonu, you have to study seriously, huh? You are at very crucial juncture of life, as you have to handle everything by yourself from now onwards. No cigarettes, no alcohol, no bad company, and no girlfriends. We belong to a middle class family, and you are our only hope, he signed. Sonu is my nickname. I was surprised by my father's remarks. He had never had an opportunity to study at a professional institute. His words made me feel emotional, but at the same time, I felt overburdened by my family sins. Suddenly, I didn't know why my hopeless family was searching for hope through me. Okay, Papa, I nodded, although I knew I would not follow any of his instructions. But I said this to stop him from repeating his old refrain. That day, however, he was unstoppable. Now all the family glory is in your hands. And lastly, I felt relieved on hearing the word lastly from him. Remember, beta, you are my brave son. With those inspiring words, he left for Rehan Nagar. His last words bewildered me. Why would he call me his brave son? That evening, at around 11, I entered the common room to find many new faces. I met Arvind. Hi, I'm Arvind Chaube, Computer Science. I am from Rehan. Hi, buddy. I am Ajay, in Electronics, from Rehan Nagar, NTPC Colony, I replied. Arvind frowned. Just Ajay? Oh, it's Ajay Pandey. In a place like Allahabad, surnames matter a lot. People may forget your first name, but not your surname. We both exchanged a half hug, or to be more precise, a manly hug. The sense of belonging to the same place seemed to have brought us closer instantly. Before I go on, let me introduce all my hostel friends since their names will come up time and again. Arvind Chaube. We both came from the same town. He was a simple but often irrational man. Love and girls were all Greek to him. He was heavy set, and we thought of him as a clone of Salman Khan. Gaurav Singh, my roommate. He was cheerful, talkative, confident, and confused at the same time. No one dared to talk to him as it meant only listening from the other side. Deependra Singh. I hate to say it, but he had been my junior at a take to next line St. Joseph's School, and he was a master at analyzing girls. I can't even bear to mention the kind of things he would find out about them, things Google itself would fail at. He was a master at talking to girls with no hesitation. Sometimes I felt He might have committed suicide if IERT was a boys only institute. He was almost 6 feet tall, thin, smart, and yes, handsome too. Because of him, I realized that looks matters a lot. Sorry, friends, but that is my description of you guys. If any of you are going to file a case against me, please remember all the above characters are fictitious. Any resemblance to real person, living or dead, is purely coincidental. Now I'm free to tear your undergarments, but you know the truth. I love you all. At 11:30 p.m., I was lying in my boxers and was about to fall off to sleep. Suddenly, a group of half a dozen gregarious men started pounding heavily on every door, shouting like military men. Everyone assemble in a corridors, move now! A shouting was quite scary, but seeing everyone moving towards the corridor, I followed. We stood lining the walls of the corridor while the seniors stayed in the middle. They seemed like dacoits, and we shivered like poor villagers. Third button, no eye contact. One senior shouted at me. I hung my head like a war prisoner. The introduction had a set pattern full name, branch, and place of origin. We did this in a flash. Then one senior shouted in a horrible voice. Lights off, he instructed one of his friends. I was a bit at ease and I raised my head a little, but it was just the calm before the storm. Remove all your clothes, one senior shouted. Everyone, including Gaurav, took off their clothes. I could make out their nude bodies even in the dim light. I could have never imagined such a sight even in my wildest dreams. Now I understood why my father had called me his brave son. They switched the light back on. Manav Bahadur and I were not a part of the exhibition yet. We were still wearing our boxers since we had joined on the second day of the ragging. Do you need a special invitation? One senior shouted at Manav. It is not possible, sir, Manav said. Five seniors jumped on him and forcefully took off his boxers. They started swinging his boxers in the air with pride. Their laughter echoed in the corridors and our ears. The rape scene from a 80s Hindi movie flashed across my mind. By the time they had turned to me, I had taken off my boxers and was standing nude, hiding my family jewels with my palms. Manav's dark ass had also joined the group of nude freshers. I mentally pleaded with all the non gods, hoping at least one would listen. My turn, I thought. I was once again reminded of my father's words. Our family glory is in your hands. I thought to myself, I don't know about the family, but yes, my glory is in my hands. Give your introduction again, a senior shouted. Ajay Pandey, electronics from. I was interrupted. Lande, he is also a Pandey, handle him, a senior said while looking at one of the half dozen seniors. A creature with dark brown eyes and dozens of pimples on his face approached me. I had guessed his name was also Pandey. I was in a state of shock. What if tomorrow my classmates start calling me Lande? While I was busy mulling over Pandey versus Lande, he neared me and started touching my chest. As his fingers inched towards my glory, I pleaded, Oh God, please don't let him be gay. And please have mercy. Hope he belongs to the same caste. Please, Pandey sir, I begged. Thankfully, the Pandey saga worked and he released me. One senior shouted, Juniors, raise your hands. We obeyed. Now our glory was visible to everyone. I learned a very important fact that day. One's glory is inversely proportional to the one's build. Juniors, you have to scream in unison. हमाम में सभी नंगे हैं. We were all nude. I was puzzled but consulted with Gaurav, who was standing very close to me. What is hammam? I whispered. Shh. Hammam means bathroom, he whispered back. I felt humiliated again, but we shouted. with our glory hanging and our hands in the air. Hama mein sabhi nange hain. It felt like we were provoking the enemy. Listen, juniors. Yesterday we explained the rules and today we are adding some more. No one is allowed to close their room doors before 2 a.m. Till then, you have to wear formal shirts and pants. No casuals are allowed. Whenever any senior calls you, you have to be as quick as a tiger and form a queue. What crazy people! First, they want us to behave like tigers and then like sheep. I thought to myself. Today we are leaving you a bit early because tomorrow you have to report 30 minutes earlier for the class at 8:30 a.m. You have to grab a seat right behind the girl you like the most. She will be your mal for the future and the rest of the hostelers will help you. If there is any confusion or conflict of interest, bring it to our notice and we'll resolve the same. Understand, punks? Day scholars should not have access to any mal. They should belong to the hostelers. We smiled mischievously. Only the word mal could make us smile in such a terrible nude state. Any doubt, juniors? One senior questioned. When will the ragging end? Manav asked. The senior came to Manav and caught his neck, shouting, "This is ragging! You think this is ragging? Explain to him why this is not ragging." The senior pulled at Gaurav, but he remained silent. Listen, juniors, this is not ragging, it is training. We are training you to make you stronger and smarter, and the training will end after the freshers' party. His philosophy went over our heads. I was about to faint. Dress fast and start using deodorants. The same senior screamed, covering his nostrils. You guys are really rustic. Please make sure that you are clean shaven from now on, he added, including your faces. Gaurav and I both settled into our room. I checked my watch. It was 1 a.m. This is early. Are they idiot? I cried in frustration. What happened? It's 1 o'clock at the night and this is early for them. Moreover, we have to reach before 9 tomorrow and choose a mall. Is this what we have come here for? I shouted, but Gaurav kept silent. He ignored my questions and sank into his bed. I closed my eyes and lay on my own bed, missing my school days and school crush Ragini. Her short, cute hairstyle and smiling face were running through my mind. But when you are going through a tough time, even your roommate will add salt to your wounds. Gaurav jumped onto my bed. What happened? I asked, scared, wondering if he was also interested in taking my glory away from me. Yaar, Manav's nude black ass is flashing in front of my eyes. Yeah, so, I can't sleep. People help me lighten up with a joke so that a bit of today's humiliation can be forgotten. Now I understood why a talkative person like him was silent. It was damned Manav's black ass. You want me to crack a joke at 1 at night? I asked in frustration. He nodded and said, Please. I thought for a second and said, You know the biggest joke at IERT? Ragging is a criminal offense. We laughed. My first interaction with Bhavna. My first day at college was horrible. After the late night humiliation, I woke early in the morning and reached the assigned section A. The letter A and the word morning always excites me because all the movie halls run grade A shows in the morning. But this day was different. At around 9:05 a.m., girls started entering the classroom in small groups. Why do girls always remain in groups? I thought. Maybe because girls are fewer in numbers and minorities always feel more secure in the homogeneous group. Like all other engineering colleges, there were fewer girls than boys in the class. They would all be accommodated in one row. In Allahabad and at the IERT, girls and boys sit apart. It felt like India and Pakistan. No one was allowed to cross the LOC. As instructed, all hostelers had settled down in the second row. We were yawning, mouth open wide like crocodiles, and water running from our eyes with every yawn. I settled in between Arvind and Dipendra, in the wild hope of getting some eye tonic. It would help us recover from the restless due to our lack of sleep. My jaw dropped on seeing the terrible dress code. All the girls looked like Pathans, covered from top to bottom in grey kurtis and dark grey salwars, their chest enveloped by snake like dupattas. I noticed that their hair was tied back with red ribbons. It reminded me of the model in government advertisement for the Saksharta mission. Welcome to the rural technology, Ajay, Arvind whispered. I frowned and realized two cunning friends always think alike. Soon someone informed me that one of the rules of ragging was that the girls had to wear red ribbons. It was a great relief to know we were not alone in our misery. The girls were also undergoing similar humiliation. At least ragging does not have any gender bias. The girl settled in first row. The beautiful girl was sitting diagonally across me. Surprisingly, she was not wearing a red ribbon, which caught my attention. She had short hair, so she could not tie it back with ribbons. She had used at least half a dozen of clips to keep her hair from getting frizzy. Her short hair reminded me of Ragini. My mind had committed cardinal sin of comparing two girls. This new girl seems to be more beautiful than Ragini, but my daydream was interrupted. Good morning, sir! Everyone screamed in unison. Good morning, students, the professor replied. A towering 6.5 foot professor with a pot belly and curly hair entered with a fake killer smile. With his heavy build and canvas shoes, Professor Bisht looked like a sports teacher. He started to take attendance. Because no one knew their roll numbers yet, he started calling out our names. After 15 names had been called out, he said the name Bhavna, and the short haired girl responded, Yes, sir. She looked stylish, wearing spectacles that complemented her beauty like accessories would. Those spectacles made her look like a doctor, a smart doctor. She was smart, but that does not mean she was not beautiful. I only want to imply that she was so smart that her beautiful looks were overshadowed by her smartness. After 15 minutes of a slow poisonous attendance round, Bishte sir wrote electrical engineering on the board with a white chalk. It took him 5 minutes to draw circle orbits. He jabbed 5 times at a single point on the outer orbit with the piece of white chalk. An inch broke off his 3-inch piece of chalk and fell to the ground like a bomb. The electron he had drawn ended up looking like a spider stuck in its own web. No one in the world could stop me from falling asleep in the face of Professor's sluggishness. All the other hostelers were suffering in the same manner as they tried to keep themselves conscious. Our eyes watered with each yawn. Contrary to his physique, Mr. Bisht's voice was very thin. It was like the decoyed Gabbar Singh speaking with the voice of bubbly 12-year-old girl. We glanced at each other and smiled mischievously. Mr. Bisht noticed this and stopped teaching abruptly, not uttering a single word. A deadly silence followed. Even the snails stopped growling. He glared at us furiously. After a few seconds of silence, he flared his nostrils. Dear students, please try to understand if my blood boils, then you are not going to cook rice over it. That boiling blood will definitely harm you lethally. Everyone burst out laughing. The short haired girl also smiled, and her cheeks dimpled. What a great smile! I became an instant fan of her smile. I snapped myself out of it and putting a hand on my chest, mumbled, Mr. Ajay, please stay within your limits. You should not develop another crush. In hostel, after dinner at around 10, as expected, the moronic seniors returned. Our glory was at stake again, but we did not feel embarrassed today. Maybe we were getting used to it. Because it was true that hammam mein sabhi nange the, we were all nude. We had assembled in the corridor again with our glory hanging loose. The seniors began taunting us again. No, no more. I prayed to the Almighty. Perhaps the congestion in the God's network suppressed, and no one intervened with any help. Juniors, tell us the name of your targets. Hopefully, you have chosen the one. Akanksha Singh, as expected, Deependra shouted first. Beena Mishra, Arvind said. Parul Tripathi, Gaurav said with a cunning smile on his face. His smile reflected the seriousness of his thoughts. I was amazed to hear that these girls were in my class. Were where were they? Why hadn't I seen them? Finally, it was my turn. Bhavna, I said. I had only noticed her. Oi, hero! What's her full name? One senior shouted at me. I was stuck and started looking for the help anxiously. Deependra jumped in as a savior. Bhavna Pradhan. As expected, Deependra was more aware about girls than anyone else present there. The senior left with his last commanding announcement. Juniors, you can be asked about your targets at any time to start paying attention. That night, they ended their so called training at around 2. We had graphics lab after a few days. Laboratory classes in engineering were an opportunity for students to spend time together for 3 hours. The boys could flirt with their targeted ones during the time. In order to accomplish my ragging task, I had expressed my desire to sit behind Bhavna in class, but Mahatharki Mr. Dipendra had indicated his preference and settled himself between her and me. I went to Dipendra and whispered angrily, Kamine, she is my target. I have to collect points for ragging. Show some maturity, Dipendra retaliated. If someone mentions being mature, it means he thinks he has the license to act immature. I glared angrily and whispered, Speak softly and sit here. If you move away now, she might catch on, Sale Tharki. We planned so thoroughly that we could have been raw agents and the girls were secret assignments. Why am I so desperate to sit next to her? I can pay attention to her even from distance. Besides, I can say anything during the ragging. How will the seniors figure out what is true? I was shocked at my own immaturity. Until then, I'd been perfectly sure she was not my next love. Mr. Balu Pandey, a graphic lab teacher, entered the class. I was excited because he and I shared the same surname, but he acted like Dipendra. He started explaining plans and elevations, paying great attention to the girls. In fact, he turned out to be an even bigger flirt than Dipendra. Maybe girls need more attention during the labs. I thought to myself in frustration. Mr. Balu had shown us one half cut diagram and we were made to draw this plan and elevation. All the students were struggling and the glancing at each other's desk for help. I tried to reach my target twice, but Deependra was still sitting between Bhavna and me. I didn't want my horny desire to be recognized by anyone, so I remained seated where I was. I mentally abused him using all the curses I knew. But Deependra was already on top of it. Every few minutes, he turned to discuss something with Bhavna. What is an elevation? How do you draw a plan? These were Deependra's idiotic questions. Anger erupted inside me. Finally, I burst when Deependra went to Bhavna's desk and started measuring lines against her chart. Why are you feeling bad, Mr. Ajay? They can be friends. It's normal in an engineering college. All others are also talking and peeking at each other's sheets. I shifted my anger to Balu sir. The assignment he had set was simple. If I asked anyone for anything, it would give the impression that I was dumb. My false ego had proved the biggest obstacle in breaking the ice with Bhavna. To prove myself a genius, I started explaining stuff to all the others unasked, as if they were dying to receive the much valued consultancy of Ajay Pandey. I tried twice to reach out to Bhavna, but she looked as busy as a squirrel with its nuts. She didn't look my way even once. Deependra came to me and said, Ajay, at least try to talking to her once, no? I'm not a despo like you. I'm not a flirt who can talk with no reason. I replied egoistically. Sale phattu, coward, Deependra said rightly. I didn't counter with an argument. After an hour of continuous sitting, I had realized that I didn't have courage to talk to her and started focusing on one plan and elevation. I was busy with my sheet and about to complete the assignment when I suddenly hear a sweet, shy voice. Do you have any clue on how the plan of this diagram will? Oh, you already finished it. I started at the source of melodic voice. A beautiful girl with killer looks was standing in front of me. Do you want any assistance, Bhavna? I asked, making myself out to be the most intelligent person in the class. Seeing Bhavna, a few more girls started peeking at my worksheet. My exhibition of smartness went on for a few more minutes, and Deependra was looking aghast, and his lips formed the words, Sala Despo. Bhavna crossed to my aisle when we were about to leave for the day. I decided to say bye to her. I waited desperately as she took tiny steps towards me, and the moment she was near enough, I said, Bye. Bye, Ajay, she called back. We both smiled, and I noticed the cute dimples on her cheeks from front for the first time. With that bye, customary drum beats started rolling in my mind. I reasoned with myself, Mr. Ajay, please hold your horses. The drum beat settled down after 5 minutes of internal celebration. That was my first interaction with Bhavna.